I'm Narelle Todd.
And I'm Essie Susan Smith.
We are the self-publishing author and marketing duo that has sold over 2 million books. But we didn't start out knowing how to sell books. Fast forward past many failed promotions and a lot of lessons learned, you will see how we went from self-publishing newbies to hitting the New York Times bestsellers list and making the USA Today bestsellers list 19 times and counting. We created the Get My Book Out There podcast to give you simple yet effective marketing strategies to increase readership and book sales, so you know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, as well as some tips for staying mentally and physically well.
Let's get started.
And we have a doozy of a topic we want to talk to you today. And we've been having much fun discussing. And then we thought we better actually record what we were discussing. So we want to talk today about what motivates us to keep going even on the hard days. And we were discussing as to what actually constitutes when it's a hard day. So it could be Susan's having some problems because she's worried that the turkeys aren't coming in. So if that's the worst thing in a day, then that's probably a good day, right?
Yeah, we were actually talking about having like the Prozac air freshener coming through, or the Valium salt lick or little Valium cubes that you could put into your coffee to kind of mellow you out. But it's I think all of us, everybody hits one of those bad days where everything is just not flowing, you're frustrated. There's some days where it's just so beautiful outside, you're like, the last place I want to be is cooped up inside having to work. So hopefully we can give everybody some tips today on how to kind of work through that a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of the things that I've been working on is just understanding when it's a bad day as opposed to when it's like, I don't know, just a bad day. So the difference there being that one is actually serious, and if I use my test of in 5 years' time, is this going to be important? Yes, it is. I need to actually do something about it and take some action, as opposed to I might just be out of sorts, or I'm a bit tired because I didn't sleep well, and you just one of those kind of grumbly days. I think understanding where you are in the hard day, kind of cycle, I think is really important. So that would be my first thing, understand.
Yeah. And I really like how you look at, is it going to be part of my 5-year plan? Is it something that I'm going to have to, that's going to affect that? Because there are some days where, you're just having that bad day and it's like, you know what, I'm not being productive. I need to stop. I need to focus on something else, because obviously what I'm working on is not going to be conducive. Where other things are making like huge decisions and making the wrong one at the wrong time, that could really affect your 5-year plan.
Yeah.
Especially if you're having such a bad day. You said like, okay, that's it. I quit. I'm not doing this anymore.
Exactly. So it's about understanding, is it a bad day, or is it's a significant issue that's happening, and there's some action that needs to be taken. So just knowing that and being okay with either, because all those sorts of things happen. We do get a range of kind of bad days in our lives, and just being okay with it, but also then actually doing something about it. Now, that could be, if it's just like a grumbly day, that could be something for me. I might just stop work and go just pop into the garden for 10 minutes, and that sets me right. Or I'll go and buy a store coffee, and that always works. But yeah, just feed the caffeine addiction. But they are deliberate strategies that I take because I know it shifts me from wherever I am. Whereas if it's a bad day and something's happened, like the training portal's crashed or a website's crashed, or it's something that's major and important, then you just have to buckle down and actually get on with it and just go, okay, life is not what I want at the moment. That's okay. Let's just do it. And you just have to work through.
And I think it's also important when you do have a day where, like with me, I've lost 4 chapters in a story that I've written, and it's gone. And, sometimes stepping away and then coming back to it, like, going to get the coffee or going out to the garden for a few minutes, but realizing, hey, this is important. And if it's something that I know I can't stop, then I may make a deal with myself that I'll push myself through this, but I promise myself something really good at X time. So I will quit that day at a specific time, and I will treat myself to something to help bring that stress level down or to take my mind off of, what's going on, knowing that I'll just have to face it again tomorrow. But at least when I face it tomorrow, I'll be less stressed and I'll be refreshed. So I'm going to be more productive and the end result will be better.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's two things that I have to always remember when that happens is that, can't tell you the number of times where I've written hundreds or thousands of words and suddenly they've gone. The computer shuts down or something happens, there's a glitch, it doesn't save. And, so now I've gotten really good about saving a lot and sending copies to myself, but still, it's still going to happen. And the first time it happened, my husband told me, he says, well, when you write it the second time, it's going to be even better. And personally, I didn't feel like it was, but I still pushed myself to do it because my first thought was, I'm not going to finish this book. That's it. I'm not going to do it. And then I thought, that's a disservice, not only to myself, but to my readers and my books and my characters. And it's not part of my 5-year plan. I just had to suck it up and, like you said, push through it. But another thing is getting ready to go on the Appalachian Trail is they say you can never quit on a bad day. So if you're having a bad day, that's not the day to quit. You have to wait till you're having a really good day and then make that decision. So that's two things that I try to keep up in my mind foremost to keep me going when I'm having that bad day.
And I often encourage authors to be very clear and have that clarity around their why. Why are they doing that? So why are they writing? Why are they wanting to build their book business? And part of that comes down to some external factors. So it could be, I want to earn money. I want enough money that I can give up my day job so I can write full time. And it could also be, something intrinsic or internal around, I just want to write.
Yes.
And it's just the pleasure of writing, which is the motivator for them. So, I would say to people, get really clear about your why you're doing this. And then on those hard days, you look at that why and you go, okay, I know I'm doing this because I want extra money to go on a holiday, to, I don't know, a cruise of the Caribbean or something, amazing, or to Iceland or, down to Antarctica. That makes it all worthwhile because the image you have of your goal is so strong and so important to you that all you want to do is just reach that goal. And so you will just put your head down, go, okay, well, I'm not having the best day, but that's okay because I know that ultimately it's going to get me to what I want. So get really clear on your why.
And figure out strategies, both internal and external, to
Yes.
help you get through those days.
Yes.
So once you're able to recognize your bad day and the causes behind it, you said that two of your, I guess, internal ways, or maybe external, two of your external ways are to go out to the garden for a little while and then also to go get a coffee. Do you use anything else?
They're probably, sometimes I'll read. I'll actually stop everything and just, but I do set the clock and I may go read for half an hour or an hour because I just need to break what's happening, the pattern in my head and the conversation I'm having and all of that sort of stuff. And initially I used to see as doing something like that as me giving up or me being weak or not resilient. But in actual fact, it's a circuit breaker for whatever is happening. And it just allows me to refocus and get back into the mindset that I need to tackle whatever it is that's going on that needs, resolution. So yeah, sometimes just go and have a nana nap or just go and read and then come back and, you've got fresh perspective. You go, right, and let's just get into it. But the key would be coming back.
I agree. And if everyone's noticing that I feel like I'm fading away, I'm not really. This is one of my getaways when I'm having a stressful day, is not to fade away, but let's see if I can get the I tend to go out to the prairie. And so right now we are out at what we call the prairie, which is out near the center of the state in Florida. Beautiful day, a little bit chilly for us, which is like summer for, I think, anybody up north dealing with the snow right now. But for me, it's way that I can just kind of take a breather. I can look outside waiting for the turkeys that we were talking about to come by, but I can sit and I can do a lot of writing because it's very calming for me. So if the lighting is kind of bad right now, I think it's because the sun is beginning to set a little bit over my shoulder and it's coming in through it. But this is, one of my both internal ways to calm me down and an external way to get me to take myself to a different place. And sometimes just going from, say, your office to the living room to a back patio, or even, down to Panera Bread or someplace where you can go and sit for a few hours can take you away and help reset that energy and get you through that bad day. Nothing says, okay, if I've got a nice, hot cup of cocoa or coffee, or hot tea right there while you're trying to write, and there's a little bit of buzz going on around you. It kind of helps refill that energy that you need.
So if nothing else from our podcast today, I want you just to walk away with the idea that don't make a bad decision on a bad day. We're all going to have bad days. There's going to be degrees of badness about those days, and that's okay. This is about flexing your resilience muscle. So, and in some ways, the more bad days you have, the more you get to flex that muscle, and actually the stronger and the better you get at being resilient. And pretty much a bad day doesn't really happen, so it's water off a duck's back, and you just go, oh, I know how to deal with that. I've done that one before.
And if worst comes to worst, just get in a nice place and just kind of fade away.
Yes, go to the garden with a coffee and take a book in the prairie.
Oh my goodness, see all these wonderful ideas.
You can do them all at once and have a good time. Okay, well, if you are having a bad day, I'm really, really sorry. And I hope that you got to watch this, listen to the podcast before you get to the bad day, though, so that you do know that it's not going to last forever, that it's going to be okay. You've got this. Just keep going. That's the key.
And if you have any good strategies that you use for either internal or external and how to deal with it, don't forget to put it in the comments below.
Absolutely. We'd love to hear from you. Radio. Thanks, everyone. See ya.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Hey, thanks for joining us today. We've got way more information we want to share with you to increase your book sales. So please come and join me at facebook.com. Get my book out there.